Welcome, my name is Carl Johann Schroeder, and this is my meetup, Inner Selves for Outer Mastery. We are going to talk today about spiritual communication, the joys of a spiritual life, communication, union, and communion. So I've got some really amazing concepts to talk about here, and basically we're talking about the continuing shift of the paradigm, the major paradigm shift we need to make to get out of the old suffering domination culture, which we're seeing a lot of people getting caught in this year, these days. A lot of fears, a lot of anxieties about, just how dangerous the world could become. Well, it doesn't have to be dangerous at all. We're going to talk about how we need to make such a big paradigm shift that you will understand how you're just not even in the same reality as these other people who are threatening scary things, who want you to think that they're in charge and they can impact you, but they really can't. What is really in charge is you with your belief systems, how you run your life, your own lifestyle, your own energy. Energy is real. Objects, matter, this physical world is a kind of illusion. It's a kind of very useful illusion. It's not the kind of illusion we want to just say, oh, it doesn't matter, do whatever you want. No. It's very important that we take it seriously for what we can do with it. It's not what you have in life, it's what you do with it. What makes the world real is your love. Being able to use the things in your life to take good care of yourself, to take good care of others, to respect and promote life, that's what makes the reality experience real. So all these people who are doing, awful things and threatening each other and trying to, compete for control, they're actually making their lives less real. They're making their realities less real. So there are multiple reasons why you don't have to be afraid of the stuff that's happening out there. It is actually an incredible sign of weakness. It's hugely weak, these people who are using violence and threats to try to control. What makes them seem strong is if they have a resonant effect on you. If you buy into those beliefs, if you go along with that energy, then stuff will happen in your life that corresponds to the stuff they're threatening, and you'll feel like, oh, I guess they're right. They have control, they have power over me. But, you're on the spiritual path. That's why we're here, right? You wouldn't even come to this meetup. You would think this is crazy, stupid stuff if you were one of these people who just believed in the violence and the control. No, you have some sense that energy is what's real, that the universe is alive, it loves you, it cares about you, that you have creator abilities. And we'll talk a lot more about this, how you have creator abilities that are on par, that are at the same level of effectiveness as the source itself, as God, Goddess, Great Spirit, Creator, Universe, whatever you want to call it. But what's interesting is the way that we have creator skills. It's kind of really the best of both worlds. What's happening is that the old domination culture said you had to make things work, right? You had to build a life that works. You start from nothing, maybe a few people will care a little bit about you, your family, your siblings, some of your friends, they'll try to help you. But really, the old system says you're on your own, you got to build, you got to make a life that works. And that's very stressful, obviously. And it's just horrible. It's like kick a person when they're down. It's like somehow I'm starting from the weakest point and yet I'm supposed to build a strong life from weakness. How can I do that? No, you build a strong life from strength. You already have a great strength. The way the world really works is that paradise already exists. The universe. So time and space are a kind of illusion. They're a story that we tell ourselves. Actually, everything always exists all the time. And so there's no distance, separation in space. It's really more of a psychological distance. If you put yourself in the right mindset, if you get the right energy going, you will be there, right where you need to be. Likewise with time. There's no separation in time. All the peak moments of your life, those times when you're like, oh my God, this is going so great. Oh my God, I think I've made it. I think my life is going to be this way from now on. and then it's not. Something changes, and you're like, oh no, I lost it all. I must have done something wrong. And you let the false negative beliefs tell you what a bad person you are. You made a mistake. You only had one shot and you blew it. All that kind of stuff. None of that is true, okay? The way life really works is that peak experiences, your best times in life, those are your examples of what's always available to you. Those are your portals, your doorways, your gateways to the life you really want. The reason why we don't stay in our best happy moments is because we come back to more parts of our life to try to bring them up to that level too. We're always working toward aligning ourselves. There are the various key words you can think about: resonance, alignment, thinking and feeling with the source, thinking and feeling with what really works. And these things you can change in a moment. You can change your internal state very quickly. It's the outer world that you may struggle to change. And there you have all these false belief systems that say like, oh, it's hard to change the world because you got to have enough strength, you got to have enough time, you got to have enough money, enough power. And it's like, no, it's like you never actually change the world. Okay, the world changes with you. You can change your inner state instantly if you really love and care about yourself. Be present with yourself. Something can change instantly. That's how, maybe you've noticed there are times when you're in this real funk, real despair, and then you just get this little aha moment, and you just calm and you tune into this peaceful place in your life yourself, and maybe you have good memories come back to you, and you just have a sense of it's going to be okay. And then, the other side of you that with the false belief systems and the survivalism, the struggle, say, what are you talking about? It's going to be okay. What about starving children? What about wars? What about, the bills that are due next week? And you go right back into oh, I guess you're right. I guess that little happy spot, that happy moment, that's nothing. That's just me being, cheerful and optimistic. Like what's real is that, oh my God, I got all these problems and they didn't just go away because I felt better. Well, actually, the problems did go away when you felt better, but then the problems came back as soon as you started listening to the false beliefs that say, no, your mood doesn't change the world changes the world. You have to get out there and have enough power, enough impact. That's all false. That's all false. You see, we know that the old world isn't working. We know it emotionally, that just how upsetting the world can be when we read the headlines and we hear the stories and we get afraid for what might happen to us. We also know from nature is breaking down. There's a lot of problems in the world. Ecological collapse is happening slowly, a slow train wreck. It's been happening for decades. And people are saying come on, we got to do something about it. But people are so wrapped up in their survivalism and their fears that they didn't do something about it. So then we have more false beliefs that come in and say, see, humanity is stupid, bad, the world was going to end, nobody cared enough, nobody did anything, the warning signs were there. It's no, it's okay. Humanity is not bad. It's just that all of these dysfunctions in the world, the things like ecological collapse, the things like poverty and disease and war, these things are happening because the paradigm is so broken. If we change the paradigm in ourselves, it can rapidly change out there. The world is actually much more of a kind of reflection. It is showing where we're at energetically. What's real is not the things out there. What's real is the energy that we can feel inside. So yeah, when you're in a good mood, that's real. And the world does change. How do you know it doesn't change? When you're in a happy place, how do you know that the world didn't change, that a whole bunch of problems went away, and that a whole bunch of other people are happy too? You don't know. You don't have an instant feed, like some kind of stock market ultimate, feed ticker on the world status. No. But you go back to the false beliefs that say, oh, yeah, I felt good, but surely that didn't change the world. No, it did change the world. But then you switch back into the problem world, the suffering world, as soon as you go back into the suffering beliefs. Now, don't worry. It's not that the world is so fragile. It's like, oh my God, I got to think happy thoughts, think happy thoughts. Some people get, this is the love and lighters in the New Age movement or the spiritual movement or the spiritual bypassing. people think like, oh my God, I've got to think positive thoughts because the world's going to crash and burn if I don't think a positive thought. No, it's not that. Because then if you become so afraid of any kind of like less than perfect thought, less than perfect feeling, that's when you're not going to be able to deal with the world. And that's when you're not going to be able to go back and forth between the good energy and the not so great energy and do some healing and converting. No, the real issue is that each one of us has a pile of positive beliefs which lead to positive energy, positive life patterns, and a pile of negative false beliefs. The stuff like, war could lead to peace, or, abusers could dominate you and you're powerless. And so none of that's true, okay? But you can have experiences of that. You can stage anything, just like a Hollywood movie. They can stage all kinds of stuff, right? But you don't go to a movie and think, oh my God, the poor actors, oh my God, well, look what happened to them. You're like, no, it's special effects. I know that. Well, you got to have that kind of savvy, that kind of awareness with reality itself. It's all special effects. It's being staged. That doesn't mean that people aren't suffering. Like I said, what's real about reality is what you do with it, the experience you have. The experiences are real. People really are suffering, but they're suffering from situations that could change in an instant if they just understood how to change the paradigm. So what we're doing, it really is switching back and forth between, you've got some positive beliefs that let the real universe through, the real living, loving paradise, because that's all there is. Only love is real. See, that's what I was saying about the kind of the best of both worlds. On one hand, you're like, okay, there are things I can do to make reality better. Oh my God, does that mean I have to build, paradise, that I have to change the world by myself? No. It means that you can make a difference in your experience, but the other side of the good news is that paradise already exists. What you're creating is your experience of it. You're tuning into it. So there's already an amazing, beautiful, happy place with all the solutions you'll ever need. You're experiencing more of it by your choices for what to believe, how you think the world works. So that's the work that we're really doing, of changing beliefs, changing paradigms. Paradigms meaning like a whole set of beliefs that fit together. Beliefs meaning your definitions, your assumptions, your expectations of how the world works, your models for, what will happen, what should happen, what could happen, your possibilities, all that kind of stuff. Belief systems. So believe it, your belief systems create your experience. It's not the other way around. We were trained to think, oh no, it's because I experienced this over and over, therefore I believe it. But no, you reinforced your underlying belief because you kept experiencing the belief. See, that's why it takes a lot of mindfulness and paying attention to yourself and caring about yourself to get underneath the layers of experience and realize like, oh, actually, I have a core belief. I have a core assumption about life. That's what's causing the trouble. And that's what I can change easily. Changing the outer world, I can't change that easily. You actually can never change the outer world, because the outer world is really just a kind of continually shifting, networking, updating, you seeing examples of your beliefs. If you believe that violence could overpower love, then you will see people who live that way. If you believe that spirituality is real, then you will see more people who live that way, who believe that way. Everybody is in their own set of beliefs, some happy beliefs, some not so happy beliefs. Everybody is working on converting their negative false beliefs to positive beliefs to let in more of the real energy of the universe. And everybody is then seeing each other, going in and out of examples, kind of like surfing the web on your web browser, okay? As soon as you hit a bad website, you don't say, oh my God, my computer, it's ruined. Like, I got to smash my computer, quick, make this go away. Like, no, you're like, okay, let me just change websites here. Well, we got to have that kind of attitude toward reality itself. As soon as you see like, oh my God, there's some awful things happening in the world. There's some people who like do these awful things. Oh my God, my life is ruined. I got to get out of here. No. Just change the website, okay? Change your energy. That's choosing your beliefs, what you believe in, and the lifestyle you live. That is your tuner. That is how you dial up different radio stations, or you tune into different channels, or you go to different websites. So this world out here, you don't actually change it directly. You never can. And that's why it is so frustrating, and people burn out. People have the best, some people with the best intentions. I mean, there are clearly people who have, pretty awful intentions, but people have the best intentions. Like, I just want to make the world a better place, but then they buy into the false belief that they have to personally make things happen. You can't personally make things happen. Now, does that mean that you go home and just meditate and do nothing in the world? No, it doesn't mean that either. Those are two false extremes. False beliefs often have different polarities, false extremes, like you got to do everything or you're powerless, you can't do anything. It's the best or it's the worst. You did everything wrong or you did everything right. It's like none of that's true. It's a mix, okay? What you really want to do with your life is that you realize it's your lifestyle, it's your energy, it's your beliefs that tune into the real paradise that's always there. And then, based upon the good energy you feel from tuning into paradise, you are naturally led to I want to do this. I want to, get involved with recycling, or I want to, nurture some nature, or I want to, help some people here or there. You're drawn to little actions, but your little actions make a huge difference because of the energy you're doing them from, not because of the impact, the power of I have so much money, I'm the one who can make things happen. All of us who don't have $1 billion, we can't run the country, but the billionaire, they only have power because other people are listening to them, doing what they say. Oh, you got the money, I better do what you say. Either because I like what you're doing and I'll follow you, or else because I'm scared of you, so I'll follow you. And then the violent people, they love that. They eat it up. See, it's like my violence, my money, my power. That's what runs the world. No, what's running the world is all the individuals buying into the beliefs that they have to go along with that. Well, you don't have to go along with that stuff. It's your energy that matters. You can make all the difference in your life by doing little actions that are well within your means. Don't try to do things you can't afford. Don't spend all your money. Don't spend all your energy and sacrifice and do this or that. Just do something within your means, something balanced, something healthy, something whole for yourself. But it's so pure, it's so good. You're tuned into the real universe that you're doing it the right way. You're doing it with the energy that really works. And when you do something with the energy that really works with the universe, you're with the universe. The whole universe is functioning with you. You have the power of the entire universe behind you when you are working with that universe. And the universe runs on love. To wrap up my introduction here, the point is the universe runs on love. And to get back to the title of The Joys of a Spiritual Life, spiritual life is so amazing because you realize these kind of things I'm talking about, that the physical world is just sort of a measure of how I'm doing and what kind of people I'm meeting, what kind of event, what kind of situations I'm running into. The real work is actually pretty easy, and if I'm not sure what I'm doing to change beliefs and tune into where I need to make choices in myself, there's lots and lots of help for you. You're not alone. You don't have to figure it out. The spiritual life is amazing because the whole universe is alive and it loves you. It's like it's been whispering in your ear, do this, go over here, let us help you, let us guide you. But then the false beliefs yell at you no, don't follow your intuition. You got to make more money. You got to talk to this powerful person. You got to do this before the world ends, whatever. It's no, you don't. Just feel safe, be safe, and follow those whispers, follow the guidance. That's how to really tune into the paradise that will take care of you. You don't have to have perfect plans, because that's another stress of even if you're spiritual, even if you get on the spiritual program, you can have all this stress of oh my God, I got to do it perfect. No, absolutely not. Do your best. Let God, Goddess, Great Spirit do the rest. Let Source do the rest. Do your best. Let Source do the rest. It is taking care of you. The universe is making continually updated plans for exactly where you are. Start from where you are. Do things that are well within your means, but they express your ideals, your principle, the very best energy that you can feel. That keeps you in alignment with the universe. So you're working with the universe. So your little drop of love, your little drop of helping and caring is in combination with a whole universe of help and caring. So you're protected. You're always guided. So if you make a mistake, no problem. Forgive yourself. Let the universe take care of it. What you don't get to today, you'll take care of tomorrow. You just stay engaged with yourself. Be mindful, be genuine, be authentic, be caring. Come from that love and keep choosing the very best beliefs and ideals that you know how to. So that when you see the news, you know, a lot of people are being traumatized just by reading the news because, oh my God, I mean, our imaginations are very sophisticated. We immediately go into all the ideas of horrible things that will happen because we read such and such, a person is doing such and such an awful thing. Doesn't have to come anywhere near you. That's off in the distance. That's a potential. So you tune into yourself, your responses to things, your responsibility. You know that word responsibility? Like, oh no, responsibility. That means like blame. That means like, who's responsible for this? Who did this? We're going to punish you. You're in trouble now. It's like, no wonder people don't want to be powerful. I'm not responsible. I didn't do that. No, go the direction of responsibility. You did do everything, not personally though. You brought it about by your choices. It's like, you know, you followed a path, you thought it might get to a nice place, and then it came out on a battlefield. Are you making the whole battle happen around you? No, it's just what you did was you made some poor choices in the path you followed that got you into a bad place. So undo that, backtrack, find a good path. Let those whispers, the guidance, tell you, go this way, think this, feel this, talk to this person. So your power starts with just being human, just being genuine, just being where you are, just feeling what you feel and thinking what you think, just being honest. And letting the universe help you. Just talk to the universe all the time. Talk to your spirit guides. Talk to your soul family, your higher self. Talk to them. Say like, you know, I can't see you. I can't feel you. I feel like a wreck. I feel like a mess. I've got false beliefs telling me I'm all alone and helpless and I don't have $1 billion, so I'm going to die. But I don't believe that. That can't be true, universe. Just talk to the universe and tell the universe how you feel, what you're thinking, and the universe will help you. And you'll start lifting out of some of that old paradigm that doesn't work. That's the spiritual path. And we're going to talk more in detail in this meeting about some of the amazing things that can and will and do happen on the spiritual path. Once you start practicing these fundamental paradigm shifts, you've got to buy into, you've got to believe. And it's not a false belief. It's not like a blind faith, right? We don't want you to blindly believe anything. I don't want you to blindly believe the stuff I say. Oh, it feels good. It must be true. No, if it feels good, maybe it's true. Try it. See what happens. You want to do the things that really work. Spirituality, these positive beliefs, they really work. The universe is really there wanting to help you. The negative false beliefs, they don't work. Stop thinking that a broken life means that they're true. No, a broken life means that the paradigms don't work. It's false. You know, the power brokers, the people with money, whatever, they run the world. No, they don't run the world. They're a train wreck. They're a mess. They're making the world a mess. They're destroying everything. That doesn't work. They're not in charge. They're not in charge of anything. They're more scared than most people, and that's why they're grabbing all the power. That's why they're so mean and cutthroat and bloodthirsty. They're terrified. They have totally bought into these false paradigms that totally don't work. They're totally weak. They have no idea what they're doing. They're just thrashing around, trashing the world, and thinking that somehow that means that they're in charge and they're powerful. No, they're not. They're a mess. Okay? You're in charge. You're powerful because you're calming down, tuning into some spiritual beliefs that will make all the difference. This stuff is real. Okay, I'm going to describe now the format that we use for the check-ins, for the sharings. I encourage you to pause the recording and do this for yourself because it's going to help you to center, ground, and balance your energy in this challenging subject material. And then I'll be sharing some highlights from the conversation we had based on the check-ins. Let's open this up for some sharing time. So for sharing, I recommend a little bit of a structure. You know, structures are to set us free. We want the structures that enable us to express ourselves. So very, very simply, say your name and where you're calling from. And secondly, a little bit of a check-in of how you're doing. A really nice structure is a sharing of where you're at, expressing yourself, is to say, how are you doing physically? How are you doing emotionally, your feelings? How are you doing mentally, what kind of thoughts you're having? And how are you doing spiritually, your values, your inspirations? Those 4 levels are actually 4 complete bodies, 4 complete energy bodies of the human experience, of the human being. So being aware of how you're doing physically, how are you doing emotionally, your feelings, how are you doing mentally, your thoughts, how are you doing spiritually, your values, your inspirations, being aware of those right away, that's being more real, more authentic, that's aligning. And then, third point, what do you think of this topic? What are some of the joys of your spiritual path, your spiritual practice? Where do you find, like, oh my gosh, this is really changing my life. This is really amazing. Like, I feel really, really hopeful, and like, I don't think this is just, spiritual bypassing. I don't think I'm just wishing things. I think this is real. I want to hear like what are some of the successes you're having on the spiritual path, and then we'll talk more in the main talk about how some of your experiences fit into how real the spiritual path is.
I've been enjoying redirecting my fears of survival and needs of what I have to have and do and be to just choosing to be now and exist in the now and make choices in that space. And I finding that to be very freeing, and freedom is good.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. A nice definition for freedom. Some people think freedom means like I should be able to do anything I want whenever I want. It's like, no, freedom is being able to function in a healthy way right where we are, right here, right now. What is the healthy way to use this? What that's the freedom, to be able to move, to be able to feel good and go in the direction we want to go in. So, yeah, beautiful. You mentioned the point of going through a lot of energetic changes, and sometimes it can be very wearing. And yeah, sometimes just take a nap. It's like, do what you can, and when in doubt, take a nap. It's like, or just a little breather, a little rest. Just give yourself a rest, because those energies of the false beliefs, the old paradigm, very stressful stuff. You got to do stuff. Save the world, save yourself. Yeah, we got to be able to like loosen up and let it go and realize like there's life beyond that. That's not true. I'm not in a crisis, because survivalism, they count on us staying in a survival state of fear. That's how they can keep us in a panic. So when people are in a panic, it's like, just tell me what to do. I just need to do something. It could be the wrong thing. I could be a lemming and run off a cliff, but I just needed to do something. It's like, no, slow down and realize like, I'm still here. The world wasn't ending that fast. It's like maybe the world's ending in a couple of years, but I could make a lot of changes before then. It's like, let's start by relaxing. That's sort of a paradox of, if you want to go faster, slow down. It's like, because then you do things better. You work smarter, not harder. So, yeah, great points. Thanks. Nice to meet you.